All right, it's go time. We are officially live. Woo! Wow, it's taken about 5 years to get to this point. 5 long years of blood, sweat, and tears. But we are live, and the book School of Grit is out. You can go and purchase and start receiving those in the mail very, very soon. But we are officially live, and you can see the link below where you can go grab your copy. You can go to my website, SchoolofGrit.org/book and pick up a copy there, or you can go to Amazon, Barnes and Noble. Heck, I'm even in Walmart. If you shop at Wally World, you can go online and find your book there. But you know what? I want to thank you all for being here and joining me, whether you're joining live or whether you're viewing this on a recording. I just want to say thank you, because I absolutely can't do this alone. As we'll get into, one of the reasons I'm here is because I'm a part of a very strong team, actually multiple teams, as you all are as well in your own lives, right? We're part of teams, and we weren't meant to do life alone. So I want to thank each and every one of you who've had a significant part of helping me in my own journey. And I'm proud to have a few of those individuals here with me, and we'll get to that in just a moment. But we're just setting the stage here, and hey, this is a celebration. This is a party. I'm not going to be sipping any alcohol or anything like that. It's not quite that kind of party. That might be a little bit later. But this is just a party just to say thank you and introduce some of those folks. Hey, what's up, Vincent? What's up, brother? Good to see you, man. Thanks for dropping the line. Vincent's one of those people that I'm talking about, just being part of the team, and very, very special. So I'm just going to set the agenda here real quick. It's going to be pretty light. This is going to be conversational. We haven't really pre-planned a whole lot. I've got some special guests who are going to be joining me. First up will be Javier Mesa. He'll be joining, and then followed by him will be Coach Richard. Richard coaches in the Unbeatable Mind program. And then I'm going to have my family is going to be joining me. You can't see them. They're right over here. They're looking at me. They're laughing. They're trying to take me off my game right now. They're doing a pretty good job of it, but they'll be coming on. And then Coach Mel from Unbeatable Mind will be joining. And then I've got my School of Grit tribe, my panel will be joining. And I've got several folks who will be talking. We'll let you guys know what we got going on there. And then last but not least, we got a very special individual, which you've probably seen the promo. It's former Navy SEAL Commander Mark Devine. He's a mentor in my life. He'll be joining us at the very end to kind of wrap things up. So that's just a quick little debrief of what the agenda is and what we'll be going over. So I've got a lot of bonuses I want to offer you guys as well. So this isn't just about the book. Yes, that's important, but I spent a lot of time creating some really cool bonuses for you all. So if you haven't already picked up a copy, please go pick up a copy on Amazon. It's available via ebook. It's available hardcover, and it's also available on paperback. But if you purchase one copy, you're going to get immediate access to the first chapter of the ebook, which is chocked full of the foreword. Actually, Mark Devine himself wrote the foreword to the book, and you'll get a sneak peek at the first chapter there. You're also going to get a companion PDF, which is basically inside the book. I've got lessons and challenges after each chapter, and I've condensed them into one easy to read PDF. So you'll get that for free if you buy one copy. If you buy 3 copies, you're going to get everything I mentioned above, and then you're going to get this 8 weeks to Unbeatable Mind PDF that we put together. And Unbeatable Mind is a coaching program that I'm certified in. It's one of Mark Devine's babies. It changed my life. And basically what I've done is I've condensed a lot of the teachings of Unbeatable Mind into 8 weeks, 8 powerful weeks that you can do immediately to supercharge your life and change your mindset. So that's if you buy 3 books. And then if you want to buy 5, you're going to get access to everything I just talked about. Plus, I'm doing a Big 4 of Mental Toughness live workshop. Think of it as a master class. It's going to be next week. It's going to be exactly 1 week from today on Tuesday. It's going to start around 5 o'clock Eastern. You will get a special pass for that event. You won't want to miss it. It's 90 minutes. It's going to be live in your face, and you're going to want to wear some comfortable clothes. You're going to wear some comfortable clothes. I'll just leave it right there. But we will be putting those lessons into action. And as a special bonus, since you're here live with me, or if you're seeing this on a recording, if you buy 5 copies right now, you can bring a friend for free. That's right. You can bring a friend, you can bring a spouse, you can bring your parents. I don't care, but you can bring someone for free. And I'd be more than happy to teach you all how to become more mentally tough, emotionally resilient, and then we will get to put those lessons to practice. So that's it for the opening. So let's really get this party started on, right? Let's go ahead and invite our first guest onto the stage. This guy's name is Javier Mesa, and Javier is a special dude. What's up, brother? How are you?
What's up, Brad? How are you, man? Good to see you.
It's good to see your face, man. It's good to see your face. So rocking the School of Grit t-shirt and the Seal Fit hat. I'm loving that, brother.
That's right. That's where we come from, man.
So Javier's he's my right-hand man. He's my head coach in our School of Grit tribe. It's a coaching program we have. But Javier and I have known each other for a while. We've been part of something called the Dad's Edge Alliance for many, many years, which a guy by the name of Larry Hagner developed. That's how we first met each other. And Javier is just one of those special dudes, man. Literally would give you the shirt off his back. Just a solid individual, a family man. And I'm just a big believer of having like-minded individuals in your life and having people better than you, surrounding yourself with better people. And Javier is definitely one of those folks, man. So welcome, brother. Wanted to introduce you to the interwebs because we're live. But what questions you got for me, man?
Yeah, man. Dude, thanks for bringing me on, man. I'm honored. I'm honored to be on this journey with you, Brad. Before I ask you a question, I can't let time go without just telling you, man, I'm honored to be your friend, your partner in School of Grit, man. You've been a huge influence in my life. From the day I called you and asked you to give me some advice, to get me moving in another direction in life, my life has been different ever since, man. And so now here we are. Look at us, man. You got a book coming out. It's already a bestseller. We're training people. We've been doing hard stuff for years, man, and it's all paying off. And I couldn't be any prouder than you, man. Prouder of you. So having said that, thank you, man. And so let's get right into it, man. I know your story. I read your book. My wife read your book. It took her 24 hours to read it. Just incredible, man. She couldn't put it down, and it's just a page turner, man. It's amazing. But let's give everybody else a chance to hear your story, man. So let's jump right in it, man. So why did you write this book, School of Grit?
Yeah, I've been asked that several times, and the book's about my experience at a place called Kokoro Camp. We'll get into that a little bit later, but it's a camp put on by Navy SEALs. It's made for civilians. And it's really designed just to push yourself past the brink mentally, physically, and emotionally. And I was just at a point in my life, I was in my mid-30s, really struggling, trying to figure out myself, what my purpose is, what I'm here to do. And I chose that. That was my School of Grit in a sense. And it shattered everything, man. I really discovered who I was out there, what was important. And I just felt the need to really share that with everybody. And it didn't start off, I didn't want to be a bestseller. I didn't want to, sell a bunch of copies or anything like that. What it really was, it was part of a legacy exercise I was going through from a coach I had at the time. And that exercise was to really think about, what is your legacy? When your time on earth is done, what do you want to be remembered for? What do you want to leave behind for your family? That got me thinking. And I thought, I want them to know the lessons that I learned at that camp because it changed my life. It changed my mindset. It changed everything. I like to say, there was version 1.0 before that camp, and now there's version 2.0, right? I almost don't even recognize the person that you see before you today. So that's why I wrote it. It really started off as chicken scratch on a notebook 5 years ago. And then the more I told this story to friends, family, coworkers, they're the ones that really persuaded me. You all persuaded me to get this book out there into the world because I'm living proof, man. It changed my life. And I've got those lessons in there. So you don't need to go to Kokoro Camp. And if you want to, go ahead, right? Punch your ticket. But I'm not saying you got to go get beat down for 50 hours by Navy SEALs to figure out who you are. Instead, you can just buy this book and the lessons are in there. And I'm going to guide you. I'm going to guide you through it, man. So that's how it came about.
Yeah. So I agree, man. You can read this book. You can learn you can read about all that you went through in Kokoro, and all the lessons, that you learned there. And Brad 1.0 and Brad 2.0, what are some of the lessons that you learned in Kokoro camp, as you went through the 50 plus hours with no sleep, at the hands of Navy SEALs, sharks? What are some of the lessons that you learned that transformed you into that new version of yourself? That just made you a new father, a new husband, a new man.
Yeah. So, one of the biggest lessons I learned out there was how to survive a shark attack. So if you ever find yourself in a shark attack and you got one of your buddies next to you, just kind of punch them in the face. They'll be wounded. You can take off and that shark's going to eat them. You'll be all right. So now I'm just kidding. Right. So, there's so many lessons, but I tell you what, there's two that really come to mind. One is that, just the whole service to others and just trying to really help each other out. That you cannot make it. That camp is not designed to make it through on your own. Okay, it is impossible. You have to rely on a team. You have to have trust. You have to have courage. So that was one of the biggest things that I learned there was that about myself was that I'd probably been pretty selfish up until that point, and I would put myself first before others' needs. And that camp just really changed that and turned that around 180 degrees. I'm not saying I'm perfect by any means, but I'm definitely much more cognizant of the bigger picture and just trying to, help each other out. Right. It's all about service to others and helping each other. So that was definitely one of the biggest lessons I learned out there. And then along with that is at some point in our life, you're going to need help. You are absolutely going to need help. And like I said, you weren't made to do life alone. Rambo, although a great movie, and I think I did cry during First Blood, it's fictitious. You're not going to do it all by yourself. You need help. So what I like to say is, and one of the sayings I learned out there is check your ego at the door. Check your ego at the door, meaning if you need help, ask for help. Guess what? People, generally speaking, like helping out each other. They just do. So don't be afraid to ask for help because you're going to need it at some point.
Good stuff, man. That's good. So you're not perfect, but your hair definitely is, man. Looking good, bro. So.
The genes are good in that, both my grandparents, my grandpa's had full head of hair, so definitely blessed in that domain.
Yeah, I'm a little jealous, I got to tell you, man. So, the book is great, man. It's full of, you go through every evolution of Kokoro camp, and man, they break you down. You come back, you're fired up, and then they break you down again, and you just go through so many things. I mean, at one point you're hallucinating, just seeing things that aren't there on a midnight march, and so many hard things that you went through. But if you could pick just one thing, man, just one thing that you want to share with everybody viewing, what that you could define as your darkest moment there, what would it be?
My darkest moment there, we were doing a workout that I had done several times beforehand. It's actually one of my favorite workouts, and it's typically done Memorial Day weekend at a lot of CrossFit boxes, and that's the Murph workout. Those of you in the CrossFit world know what that is, but in case you don't, it's a gnarly workout. You do you run 1 mile, you do 100 pull-ups, 200 push-ups, 300 squats, and then run another mile. Oh yeah, in a weighted 20-pound vest. Right, very gnarly. You're doing good if you can break an hour fresh. We had to do that workout after probably 8 hours of being beat down. So Kokoro camp took place at 8 o'clock in the morning on a Friday. We did that Murph hero workout right before the sun went down Friday night. So if you could imagine getting smoked all day and then doing one of the toughest CrossFit workouts out there possible. Like I said, I had trained for it, but I hadn't ever done it in that depleted of a state. And on the last mile, I had 15 minutes to make a time cap, and I thought 15 minutes, right? No problem to run a mile. I could do that in my sleep, right? My legs gave out. I'd never experienced cramping the way I had cramping. I mean, I was literally on my hands and knees, practically crawling, and just couldn't feel my legs. And it was a dark moment. I didn't think I was going to make it, and I looked up and had a conversation with God right there at that moment. And I hadn't talked to God for a while. And I was raised Catholic and definitely believe in God, but I don't practice. I don't go to church as often as I should. I'm a creaster. I'm not even that. I go on like Christmas, maybe, right? Christmas and Easter type thing. I was raised Catholic, all that good stuff, but hadn't talked to him in a while. And I asked him for some help. And you know what? Nothing happened. I was still hurting. And I figured, well, that's it, right? And then I was almost ready to give up and just kind of lay there. And then I heard something in the background, and it was a couple of my teammates. They were coming up from behind. So I asked for help. They picked me up. I had one arm around each other, and they held me up. And wouldn't you know it, a couple minutes into it, I got my legs back. And was able to finish. So the lesson there is what I would tell you, at least what I believe is, you can ask God for help, but God's going to answer that on his own time, right? As he did for me. It wasn't right away, but he did help out later. So that was probably my darkest moment.
Yeah, I can attest to that, man. So Brad advised me to go through a Seal Fit Crucible as well, and I went through a shorter version of it called 20X. But I would say that the Murph was the darkest moment for me as well, man. We did it after we had been smoked for hours, and we went through a march through the mountains. We did all kind of stuff, and then we came back to do the Murph in Temecula. It was about 32 degrees. We were soaking wet, middle of the night. It was dark, but we got through it, man. So
sweet, brother.
Yeah. So look, hey man, we could sit here and talk all day, man. I got a million questions for you, but I know we have some more, awesome guests coming on, and I'm honored to be with you, man. I'm honored to be on here, sharing this moment with you. Proud of everything you've done, everything you've accomplished, man. And it's just up from here for us, brother. So congratulations, and let's bring on the next one.
Thanks, Hav. I appreciate that, man. So just a reminder, guys, there's lots of bonuses. I talked about them earlier, but if you want to go to SchoolofGrit.org, check out book. If you bought some copies, please put your name in there. I got some free bonuses I definitely want to send your way. All right. Whether that's the PDF companion or the Unbeatable Mind 8-week, or if you bought 5 copies, you're going to get access to that free masterclass I'll be doing next week, and you can bring a friend. So, all right. Next up on the guest list is Coach Richard Thompson. So I've known Coach Richard for a couple years. Great man. He is in Unbeatable Mind and one of the head coaches of Unbeatable Mind and a mentor of mine. So without further ado,
Hey, Brad, congratulations on your book, School of Grit. So proud of you. And I just wanted to share some thoughts. I mean, the past few years, we've gotten to know each other, and super impressed by the human being that you are and your willingness to always lead from the front, your willingness to empty your cup, to learn new things, to do hard things, and do it with a smile, having fun, taking on new projects. Life is busy, and you're one of those people that always finds room to say yes to the things that matter to you. And I'm proud to have you as a friend, as a leader in the community, in the coaching program, always looking for great leaders. And you always identified yourself by your actions and your way of being to be one of those that I always sought in our coaching program with Unbeatable Mind, and how you embody the work, right? As we know, it's one thing to know, it's another thing to do, it's another to embody. And I know your book is a reflection of that, those experiences that you've had to this point in your life. And one of the things I'm most excited about is to see what the next book is going to entail. School of Grit is going to be awesome. And it's just a stepping stone to what's next. So looking forward to participating with the tribe here of reading and taking in that book, and then participating with you and growing and seeing what comes next for you. So proud of you as the man you are, the father, the husband. Congratulations, brother. Really appreciate you.
Appreciate that. Yeah, Coach Richard's a special man and one of my mentors inside of Unbeatable Mind. And just for him to say that, yeah, next book, right? I don't know. I don't have any plans for that. I'm gonna have to take a breather from this. This one took me 5 years, so I'd hate to think how long the next one would take. But wow, thanks, Richard. Appreciate you spending that time. I'm honored. So time for. I've been waiting for this moment for a long time, and these people are it. They are it for me. This is why I do what I do. This is why I wake up early in the morning. This is why I try to crush it at work and working out and doing all the craziness. I'd like to invite my family in. So come on in, guys. Take a seat here. Kids, you can hop back here. All right. Oh, you guys look very presentable. All right. This is awesome. Cool. So I've got my wife, Leslie, here. We've been married almost 17 years. I don't know what she saw in me all those years ago. Funny story. We met each other in, we worked at Menards. We worked at Menards Home Improvement. So she was a cashier and I worked in the plumbing department, and got the gumption and the guts to ask her out. I don't know what she saw in me, but so glad she said yes. So that's my wife, Leslie, and those are our two wonderful, beautiful kids back there. What's your name, honey?
Hallie.
How old are you?
11.
11. And?
Brody.
How old are you, buddy?
8.
Brody's 8. So 11 and 8-year-old. And like I said, these folks are they're it for me. When I think back to especially Kokoro camp, when you sign up for that camp, you actually have to write out why you're doing it. Like, what is your why behind it? Which is a very important exercise to do anytime you're setting out on any goal, really, is to ask yourself, why are you doing it? And ask yourself why a multiple of times to really get to that true answer. And time again, my why was them. It was these folks right here. This is why I was doing it. Sometimes it's hard for me to articulate exactly why, because what do you think? Did you think I was crazy when I signed up?
Every time.
Yep. She thought I was crazy. What do you think? So quick, that reminds me of a story. So when I was shipping out to Kokoro camps in California, I live in Indiana, so I'm in the Midwest. So it's about a 4-hour flight. I had to wake up at the crack, hop on a flight, and there would be literally zero communication from me for almost 60 hours straight, And what do you think when there was just no contact from me over the weekend?
It was a little bit scary. I'm not a huge social media person, but I was trying to figure out how to hack accounts, not hack, but get in there and see what I could find and just make sure you were okay and alive.
Yeah, make sure I was alive. I actually told her too when I left. She knew how serious I was about this. And when you find something that your heart and mind and passion are into, you got to go all out. You got to sort of like burn the boats is the expression you may have heard about. You got to burn the boats. I literally told her the morning I set out, I said, look, you're not going to hear from me unless I'm dead, or I medically get dropped, or I get kicked out because I'm so slow. I that's what I told her. And that's a scary thing to have to tell your spouse. And I meant that. I mean, I truly did. I meant that. That's how serious I was about doing this. And I was serious in my training. So I didn't take it lightly. and that was very tough. But I'll never forget after securing it on Sunday and just the joy and jubilation. I mean, obviously, you were the first person I wanted to talk to, and then just let you know that I was okay. I had made it, and couldn't wait to see her. So. Yeah.
He did come back very, I guess, humble. And we had a big family gathering for something else afterwards. And I recall my sister-in-law just saying, Brad's different. Is Brad okay? And like, just even like, can I have a glass of water, please? Just things that he would never have asked for before. So, yeah, it was, I think, a wild, obviously, experience that's changed him for sure.
Yeah, it's something about having a cadre of coaches around you, and I didn't serve in the military, but I got to think it's similar to boot camp where they literally tear you down, bring you back up, and you don't have anything. The clothes you have aren't your clothes. Like they dictate when you eat, they dictate when you sleep, they dictate when you use the bathroom, and mentally, I definitely brought a little bit of that home. So thanks for sharing that. What do you think, kids? What do you think of your dad?
I think it's cool that he wrote a book.
Why do you think it's cool?
Because it shows how he did the stuff he did in Kokoro camp.
Oh, thanks. Appreciate that. What about you, Brody?
I think my dad's awesome.
You think I'm awesome? Why do you think I'm awesome?
Because all the stuff you do, and you're writing a book, which is pretty cool.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
It's kind of hard to be married to him sometimes.
Any guys out there have spouses that would say that kind of be hard to be married to him? I wouldn't want to be married to myself either. So.
Yeah, it's just, he's always looking to do the next thing or push himself, which has made all of us better. But sometimes it's like, gosh, why do you have to be so inspirational? Now I've got to go try something. So I actually read the book last year, and after I read it, I was like, Javier's wife, Suzanne, it was a page turner. I couldn't put it down either. And so it actually motivated me to do the Murph. So that was my first time ever doing it. I didn't do it with the weight, but I did it, got through it, and our kids participated in a few rounds of it too. So it was a pretty big family and friend event that we did. And so he's pushed us all to do different things as well.
That's cool. Thanks for sharing that. And I'll never forget that. You had read it. I tell you what, you want to know something scary is putting your heart and soul into something like a book, and then giving it to your spouse or giving it to someone you love and saying, here, will you read this? Because there's a chance it could suck. Sorry, kids, you can earmuff that. It could absolutely suck, right? And that, man, would that be a big blow, especially to the ego. But that's okay. Sometimes we all need knocked down several pegs. And I was nervous. I was really nervous because she saw me. Like I've been asked, like, well, how'd you write a book? And it's like, it's not rocket science, man. It's hard work. It's hard work. I got up early and I literally put my butt in a chair at the kitchen table and wrote for an hour. That was the method.
And the dining room table.
And the dining room table.
And the office.
And the office.
And the countertop.
And the countertop.
So any space in the house was taken over by Brad Ritter. And then my OCD would kick in and we'd have to clean up a little bit.
Hey, those of you who work for home, go ahead, post up. Does your office go different places within the house? I just get bored in one location. But yeah, she would see it. She'd walk in and, I'd be writing, like literally, or typing. And then all of a sudden, I had a good enough draft. I said, hey, this is ready for you to read. Would you honor me and be the first one to read it? And that was scary, but I passed her test, and that's when I knew, like, hey, this is going to be a success no matter what. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how many books you sell or whatever, right? Like this is already a win. We've already won. So awesome, guys. Anything else you want to share with me or the audience?
He's an amazing dad.
Oh, cool. I tell you what, we're doing, this has nothing to do really with I guess it does, about growing grit with the book is just doing stuff with your kids. you know, like really doing it. We do Taekwondo together. We just started that a couple years ago. And I got to tell you guys, man, it's been so much fun failing with you guys, getting nervous, especially around promotion time, and just being able to fail with your kids and learn right there alongside them, man. I love it. And I think I'm just very grateful to have that opportunity. So thanks for pushing me. You guys are a big reason why I do everything that I do. So yeah, thank you all. Love you. No problem. Thought you were leaning in for a kiss. No?
Oh.
No, that's okay.
You disgusting. That'd be disgusting.
All right. Hey, it's not that kind of show. All right. So what are we doing next? So quick reminder too, depending on when you're joining this. So you're going to notice I'm like a broken record, but go online, pick up the book. The more copies you buy, the more bonuses you get. Also want to mention the ebook is available for sale too. And I've discounted that ebook to 99 cents, everybody. 99 cents. I mean, go out and get it. Just add it on. It's only $1. But you'll get it right in your Kindle right away. So wanted to make sure I made that plug with you all. And now is the time in which we're going to get to have a bunch of people join. So School of Grit, right? It is a book, yes, which is outstanding. And I hope you all enjoy it. But School of Grit's also, it's a movement. It's a movement. It's a membership site. So I would like now to have several members of School of Grit join, and we can share with the audience, you know, what exactly is going on inside of School of Grit. So we got Mr. John Forsberg here. Oh, what's up, Will? Hey, you guys are looking good, man. Usually when I see these guys, they've got their workout clothes on, and man, everybody's looking dapper. Awesome. Look at all these guys. Sweet. Cool. So we got John, Will, Scott, Earl, Chris, and Mark. What's up, guys? How are you?
What's going on? Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congrats a lot, Brad.
Appreciate it, guys. Awesome having you all on. And trust me, time is a valuable commodity. So I appreciate you guys taking time out of your busy schedule to join me. But let's just keep this light and fresh, shall we? Got about, 20 minutes or so. And let's just open it up.
I think we just lost our fearless leader there.
Yeah, he froze a little bit. His internet doesn't like him right now.
I mean, I'll jump in and kind of give a reason why I joined the group, and I met Brad through the Dad Edge Alliance, and I've seen what he's been doing over the past 5 years, and just how much he's grown over the past 5 years, and seeing that as a leader in the group that we're in. And we went through some content on unbeatable mind and mental toughness and mental fortitude, and he really laid the groundwork for where I wanted to get to. I was great at starting things. I wasn't necessarily great at finishing things. I'd run into some adversity, and I'd let it get the best of me. And so I jumped in on this opportunity to join these group of guys and do things that challenged me and have accountability to get it across the finish line. And so it's been an incredible, 9 months now that we've been together, and we were able to just over this past weekend all complete the David Goggins 4x4x48 challenge, which was an incredible mental and physical challenge. And without the training and the coaching that I've gotten from Brad and the tribe of guys here, no way would I have been able to accomplish that just 9 short months ago. So I really appreciate it, and congratulations on the book. It's fantastic.
All right, I'm back. The show must go on. You know what? Those of you with young kids, I said, are they on technology? Did they just knock me off? It wasn't their fault. It's my fault. Must be the internet around here. I'm not pedaling my bicycle, so I'm not getting enough bandwidth or something like that. But I'm back, and thanks for everybody for hanging on. So continue. I'm just joining. I have no idea where you guys left off.
Well, I'll jump in. So I've recently joined with Boat Crew Bravo, and my swim buddy over here, Chris Edgar. We joined recently in, what was that, October, I believe, right? Something like that, October, November, December, I don't know. It just seems like one long amount of time. We're all just going through this entire great School of Grit program with Brad and Hav. Two masters there sharing all their wisdom, all their experiences, and really helping me personally become a better father, a better leader, and a better man. I've learned so much about myself in this very short amount of time. I can't imagine what it'll be like in the future, right? Fast forward out another 6 months where these other great guys already are at that end. And I'm looking forward to it. I just want to say thank you, Brad, for bringing myself in here, bringing me to meet these great guys, and I'm looking forward to what you have next.
Yeah, we're just getting started. So I'm not too sure what part I left you all at, but what I was saying is School of Grit is it's a movement. It's a movement. So we're just starting. This book launch is the start of all this. And people have asked me, where do you see this going? And I'm just a believer in doing hard things. I think the world's gotten soft. I think we've gotten super soft collectively. I'm not calling any one of you soft that I'm looking at right now. I'm just saying collectively as a society. And I think, part of that is, the generations we were born at relatively good times. Technology has advanced a lot. It's very easy to be super comfortable. I mean, I'm downstairs in my basement right now. It's a perfect, 70 degrees. I'm not sweating in humidity or freezing cold. So part of what we're trying to do in this School of Grit community is just harden ourselves, essentially, right? Like let's become the best versions of ourselves. And let's find unique and creative ways to do that. And that can be done physically, that can be done mentally, that can be done through emotional challenges, you name it. And why I call it a tribe is something that, I spoke to a little bit earlier. And that is, we weren't made to do life alone. None of us were made to do life alone. Hundreds of years ago, we survived in tribes. We did. That's we had tribes or villages, and we were dependent upon each other. But I look around now, and take COVID for example. Like it's still around somewhat, but I mean it wasn't that long ago that the world shut down, and you weren't allowed to go outside and be around people. And thankfully, through I have a love-hate relationship with technology, but look what we're doing right now. We can actually get together with each other, albeit, we're all over the country, soon to be probably all over the world, but we're all over the country right now. But that doesn't mean we can't get together and train together. And that's what we do. We hop on calls first thing in the morning. And why we do that is it's a way that we can win in our minds before setting field on the battlefield. And the battlefield that I'm referring to is life. So we have calls together. And then we also train together. We have Saturday morning physical training live from my garage over Zoom. And then we'll also we've been known to do a couple crucibles here and there, right, guys? What did we just get done doing?
Hell.
Did you say hell?
It wasn't that bad.
So you may have seen this on social media. One of my favorite books from a couple years ago. In fact, I have it right here. Just grab it. Is this right here? David Goggins wrote a book called "Can't Hurt Me." It was awesome. It was my favorite book from a couple years ago. and he had a challenge he put out there. It was called the 4x4x48 challenge. And the idea is you run 4 miles every 4 hours for 48 hours. Or if you don't want to run, you just got to do something. Do push-ups, do a workout, ride a bike, whatever. Do that for 45 minutes to an hour, but do it every 4 hours for 48 hours. And we all committed to doing that as a team. And it was, well, I'm not going to steal that. What'd you guys think? How was that?
It was intense. I mean, you know, I've been through basic training and items like that, and this was by far tougher. And I said hell, but hell's not necessarily bad, right? Hell is someplace most of us don't want to go. Hopefully none of us want to go, right? So it was just that little reminder of, hey, you know, make sure you're taking care of yourself. Make sure you're doing the hard things so you don't have to end up in such a poor environment, whether it's health, physical, mental, etc. And no, I enjoy the challenge. I like to do hard things. That's one of the reasons why I came here to your School of Grit, and it's pushed me much further than I was able to push myself, and that's what I needed. And the panel here, you know, my brothers that have also taken this path in life, it's great. It was humbling.
Awesome. Thanks, Scott.
So Scott, it's funny. What brought you to School of Grit is that you like to do hard things.
Yeah.
What brought me to School of Grit is I really don't like to do hard things.
All right.
And I've been wired to look for the easy
Someone's
way
telling
out.
the truth.
And I'm learning the value of doing those hard things after going through an exercise like the 4x4x48 with you guys. And I'd shared with Brad and Hav and Mark on a call this morning, you know, I grew up as an only child. I've definitely hung my own shingle in the corporate world, and I've grown to be very self-reliant on myself and to think that it's always on me. And what I've learned in School of Grit and became blaringly apparent this past weekend is really the value of the team. And I couldn't have done that 4x4x48 without all you guys. And it's not just Brad, it's all of you guys, and you all embody what David Goggins says we should strive to be, which is to be uncommon amongst a group of uncommon people. Right? And you guys all are that, and I strive to be like you and to be like Brad and have that great hair. Yeah.
Sorry, Will and John and Mark. And Scott.
So I wanted to say thank you to you guys.
No, thank you, man. Great share.
There's more guys here without hair than with hair.
Yeah,
right.
What's up with that?
I know. Nice hair not guaranteed from the School of Grit. I'm not sure if you've put that as a disclaimer for any prospective clients, Brad, but your hair is elite and certainly not guaranteed amongst this crew. But hey, man, congratulations. You know, really honored to be here and be a part of the boat crew, just to be, like Chris said, part of a team of a like-minded group of men who are focused on becoming the best versions of themselves and showing up a little bit or a lot of it better every day. And what drew me to the School of Grit is you, Brad, that you always believed in me. You always gave me support, a lot of patience. And I mean, we talk a lot about the physical mountain, which us guys like to do. But the mental, the spiritual, for me in particular, the intuition components that I've gotten out of this are super valuable. Family, work, life, to know that I can train and develop my intuition is really cool. That's one skill I just never knew existed for human beings, certainly not for myself. So just so much value. And it's, for me, process over outcome. You know, being with this crew and being with the School of Grit, it's a long journey. It is a lot of work, but it's the process, and the outcomes come They're natural byproducts. So anyway, super proud of you, man. Congrats. Honored to be here. Hoo-yah.
Hoo-yah. You know, Earl, you hit on something there. Gut, actually wrote it down. And that is something we do work a lot on, is being able to trust your gut, because sometimes sometimes your gut has actually left you astray. You've made some bad decisions based on gut instincts. And if that happens, then I'm reminded of there was an episode on Seinfeld, I believe, where I see Will laughing, maybe a couple. I think you know what's coming, but George, if you guys have seen Seinfeld, George he's having a terrible life, so he just has this intuitive hit. I'm just going to do the opposite of whatever it is that pops into my head, and he starts doing it, and success starts coming to him, right? And worst case scenario, if you're not trusting your gut, then just do the opposite. Do the opposite, right? Yeah, awesome stuff, man. Has everybody had a chance to go? Because I know we had some technical difficulties. I want to make sure everybody in the group had a chance to speak up. See some heads nods. Yes.
I haven't really said a lot yet, but
that's surprising, John, because you've got a big mouth. So why don't you take the floor now and lay it on us?
I want to talk a little bit about the Crucible events and the team aspect. We all went through one this past weekend with the 4x40 and the text thread and the chats we had were just all lit up all hours of the day and night. And, little snippets of video, that the 3-4 o'clock in the morning, it's dark and you just need the team to get you through it. I did a similar type event back in September through GoRuck, and it was like a 48-hour, 3 events in one weekend. And I was probably 30 something hours into it. And we were 4 or 5 months into the training when we were going through when I did that. And I remember having some moments where, like, in the dark of the second night, I'm carrying these heavy sandbags and we're just all exhausted and I'm beat down. And I just felt like you guys were there with me, and the team helped get me through some moments, and the training we were going through and the mental attitudes and everything. And just the idea of me coming back to you guys saying I didn't complete it, it kind of messed me up a little bit. And you guys, the team and everything helped me get through those events and doing these hard things, because we're all capable of more than we think we are. But you need to go through some of these trainings and these, the School of Grit and Unbeatable Mind stuff to learn how to get through it, because we're not taught that stuff anymore. We don't do it. I mean, like what Chris said, I grew up as an only child too. I was always taking the easy way out as long as I possibly could, until I started doing some hard things like, hey, what's the next hard thing? Oh, what's the next hard thing? Oh, what's the next hard thing? And at some point my wife's just going to say, you can't do that. That's too hard. You need to stop. And I'm just waiting for her to tell me that. She hasn't said it yet, but she's probably getting close. Because she worries when I want to do these crazy things in the middle of the night by myself. But that's it. It's all about the team and doing the hard stuff and getting through it, because you can do more than you think you can. So that's what I got.
Yeah, that's powerful stuff. And that right there, right? You can do more than you think you can. I don't care what situation you're in. You always have a choice, and we all have a tendency of putting those ceilings on us, right? For whatever reason, we're our own biggest enemies a lot of time, whether it's imposter syndrome or just having the negative dialogue. But you got to learn to control that inner dialogue, right? Control it. Don't let it control you. And then watch what happens, right? Stand back and watch what happens. Awesome stuff. All right, guys, we're coming up on, I think, the end of our time here in the next few minutes, but anybody got any last closing words or anything like that?
Real quick, Brad, we're always on the receiving end of your accolades, you and Coach Hav, for the challenges you throw out at us. But I think this is a time for us to say congratulations, job well done. Very proud of you. And I feel very blessed that I get to be in your network. So you deserve all good things that come from this, and looking forward to seeing your growth as you look forward to our growth.
Absolutely, man. Thank you all very much. And yeah, this book, it's about me, but it's really about everybody else. It really is. And I do believe it's got the power to help you out if you if you implement, right? I'm guilty of it too. I have a bookshelf full of books that I've read, but have actually implemented anything that I've read. So that's my challenge to you is, if you buy this book, take on the challenges, do the work, do the daily work. There is no supplement for that. There is no supplement. You got to do it. And if you need help, we all need it. Find an accountability partner, find someone to help you out. And if you're looking to join a crew, reach out to us. And by the way, we're looking to add some women here. I know it's all men here, but we're looking for some badass women too. So if you think you got what it takes, contact me. We'll set it up. So awesome. Hoo-yah, everybody. Thanks for joining. Yeah. All right. See you guys.
Yeah.
Okay. So this has been just unbelievable. I cannot believe 50 minutes has absolutely flown by. It's crazy. As a reminder, you can go on to SchoolofGrit.org/book. Go check out all the different ways, how many copies you can buy, all the different freebies you can get. You can go on Amazon, order right now. The ebook's 99 cents. Yes, the ebook's 99 cents. So please go on, pick up a copy of that if you haven't. It's only $1. I would greatly appreciate it. We're coming up towards the end of the live stream, but we've got one guest that hasn't arrived yet, but hopefully will be. I have no doubt. He's a very busy man. So before we get to that, though, I've got another person I wanna introduce, and her name is Coach Mel. Coach Mel is a Unbeatable Mind coach, and I met Coach Mel. The first time I met Coach Mel was at Kokoro Camp. So yeah, Coach Mel, I think she's here. She'll be joining here any moment.
Hi, my name is Melanie, and I've had the pleasure of knowing Brad Ritter for many years. I also had the pleasure of watching Brad as he propelled himself through his SEAL-Fit Kokoro Crucible back in the day. At the time, I was coaching with the other cadre of Navy SEALs. I was the woman that ran their errands and did a little bit of coaching, and they would ask me to pay certain attention to certain of our clientele that were maybe underproducing. And I remember them saying specifically to me to target Brad because he didn't stop smiling, and they wanted him to stop smiling. During this time, SEAL-Fit was pretty extraordinary because our coaches were really aggressive, and most of the people who came out to these events were guys that wanted to be Navy SEALs or really advanced athletes, like CrossFit competitive athletes. And so these guys would hand it to them. This was the real deal, and there was a little bit of a looser structure at the time. And Brad really, from the beginning of that event to the end, never stopped smiling. That is what I recall the most about Brad. It was pretty extraordinary. He lit up the entire team of people, no matter what they were doing, where they were. He was always a man of great integrity and great confidence. And Brad came into the camp as a very average guy. We see a lot of these guys, and oftentimes, particularly back in the day when it was a little bit more of an aggressive camp, they would pinpoint someone like Brad and try to get rid of him because they thought he might hold the team back. And so that was really extraordinary about Brad, is he came in as a businessman, a father, a guy in late 30s, I believe, and just kind of wanting to prove to himself that he had what it took to complete this crucible for his family and for his business. But he excelled far beyond what even some of the younger guys came in with. He knew what he was up against. He knew that it had to come from his heart, and that he had to believe in himself above all in order to succeed. So it was beautiful. He's always been one of my favorite people. And Brad then went on to become a co-coach with myself as an unbeatable coach, which has been an extraordinary journey as well, as we all started to navigate the terrain of coaching groups, coaching individuals under the Unbeatable Mind umbrella. And now he wrote this amazing book. So helping all of us get a little more gritty, dive in a little more deeply into our lives, and create more discipline at the end of the day. Discipline creates courage. Courage creates great self-esteem. And so that's what Brad is. He's a great man of great self-esteem, great wisdom, and fortitude. So Brad, hoo-yah. Congratulations on your new book.
All right. Thanks, Coach Mel. That was awesome. And hey, I still got that smile. That I tell you what, I literally laughed. That brought a huge smile to my face because I don't know why. I don't know if this is the way I'm born like that. I tend to smile during adversity. I'm not sure why. Maybe it's a nervous tick or something, but I do specifically remember smiling a lot during camp. And I didn't know it at the time that they were trying to target me, trying to target this average looking, businessman, middle-aged, but it all makes sense now. It all makes a lot of sense, and it has absolutely come full circle. So, the first real quick about Mel, I first met Coach Mel at Kokoro Camp, and we were doing an evolution there. And it was the only time I made what they call the Goon Squad. So for those of you who don't know what the Goon Squad is, it's the place you don't want to be. It means you can't keep up. You're not doing what you need to do for your team. You're the reason the team's falling behind. So guess what? You get to join the special group of individuals, and you're going to get extra physical fitness thrown your way. So that was the one and only time I made the Goon Squad, was during the pool competency phase. But you know what? I wanted to go. I wanted to get out of that pool so bad. It was by far my worst evolution. I struggled mightily. I could swim. I couldn't swim for stroke. I wasn't efficient. It was just absolutely terrible. And we were doing a certain technique. I think it was the combat side stroke or something like that. And it was the first time I'd ever seen anything like this. And I started swallowing water and flailing. And I was going to throw up. I was absolutely going to hurl. And I thought, I can't do it in the pool because I'm probably going to get beat down if I do it. So I'm jumping out. So I jumped out of the pool and I went over to some bushes and started talking to the bushes. And then who came beside me? It was Coach Mel. Coach Mel was my savior, right? She was my angel. She said, "Hey, are you okay?" I heard one of the coaches tell her, like, "Hey, make sure he's not, throwing up blood or anything like that," which thankfully I wasn't. I just had a little bit too much pool water in my system. And she took me to a van, and it had a hydration station. So she made sure that I had enough electrolytes, gave me a little bit of food. To me, it seemed like 10 minutes. It was probably more like, I don't know, 2 minutes. And then in true Mel fashion, she said, she can be pretty hardcore. She looked at me dead in the face and she said, "Get your ass back in the pool now." And I was like, hoo-yah. Ran back in the pool and completed it. So thanks, Coach Mel. That was an awesome video. And man, just so excited for you to join me with that. So, all right. I know we're coming up on the end here. As a reminder, please, if you haven't already, hopefully you have, but School of Grit's live. You can go purchase some copies right now on Amazon. You can go to make sure you go back to my website though and tell me how many copies you purchased, so we can send you all your freebies, your PDFs, your invite to the Big Four Mental Toughness, which is next week, a week from today at 5 o'clock Eastern. If you buy 5 copies or more, you can bring a friend. You and a friend will get free access to a master class where I'll teach you the Big Four Mental Toughness that I learned out there at Kokoro Camp. But just a small little caveat, you're going to want to have some comfortable clothes on. So dress comfortable. I'm not going to tell you why, but we're definitely going to practice. We're going to put those methods to practice. So awesome. Okay, I got one more guest who's supposed to be joining. And while we're waiting for that particular guest, I want to see, can Javier come back on here? Javier, we can get him back in. Hey, what's up, Javier? I know you were in the green room, relaxing, probably eating. So thought I'd bring you back here, man. But
Yeah, buddy.
yeah, man. Hey, sorry to put you on the spot, but I knew there was a lot we could probably talk about earlier on, and just wanted to bring you back because you had asked me some really good questions at the beginning, like why I wrote the book, darkest moments. Anything else that really you were kind of dying to ask me or really came to mind? I'd be more happy about now.
Yeah, no. I mean, I think probably what everybody wants to know when they think about the book, and when they think about why do we do things like go to Kokoro Camp or go to 20X. It's when we tell people about the things that we've done, like the 4x4x48, or like a 46-minute plank. When we tell people things like that, their immediate reaction is why, and I mean, I have a lot of reasons why, but I want to hear it from you, man. Why do you do things like that? Why did you go to Kokoro Camp? I mean, on the surface, anybody who knows you is, this dude's successful. He's in great shape. He's got a beautiful family. Why would he want to put himself through what's known as, the most severe, the toughest civilian training? Why would you do something like that, Brad?
Yeah, great question, Javier. So, one of the biggest reasons I chose that particular school of grit to go to, being Kokoro Camp, is to really find myself. And I'm just a believer that, in order to find yourself, you need to put yourself in certain experiences that are just going to test you beyond measure. And I was looking for something that was going to test me physically, mentally, emotionally, and really just, strip me completely down, and then help bring me back up. Right. Because it's not just about the beat down. It's also about, the lessons that you're going to learn there in those moments when you don't want to move any farther, or you want to quit. Where do you go? Where does your mind go? What do you think about? And that's why I chose to go. I was pretty fortunate in my upbringing. Maybe like some of you who might be looking at this recording right now, but I was very fortunate. I didn't have to experience a lot of adversity early on, in early adulthood, in my childhood. My parents are still married. I had a wonderful upbringing. Didn't have to worry about, putting a roof over my head or fighting for that next meal. We were raised in the middle class. We weren't rich, but we definitely weren't poor. So I didn't have to experience a whole lot of adversity. And just a big believer in that's how you grow. That's how you forge your character, and is by adversity. So I just wanted to choose one of the severest schools that a civilian could go to. So yeah, great question, man.
Yeah, no, that's great, man. And we find ourselves in those darkest moments, man, when we're broken down, just broken down all the way, man. That's when we find out who we are. And that's when we find out what we got. And for anybody out there thinking, oh, well, that's not me. That's not the type of person I am. I don't need that. Well, guess what? The reason Brad and I work so well together and through this training, and the reason we're such good friends and we bonded at the day we met, is because we're polar opposites. I didn't grow up, in that comfortable income level. And I didn't, I went through some serious adversity when I was a child. And long story short, my life had a lot of adversity, and some of it I've never talked about with people, but it was there. And so when I talked to Brad, I was also at that spot where I needed something to kick me in the behind and set me on a different course in life that I was going through. And I ended up through his advice, I ended up at another SEAL Fit event, and it had the same effect on me as well. So it's not just for men. It's not just for people who are comfortable, who had a cush life and want to get, stomped on to maybe, go in a different direction. It's for everybody. And that's what Brad and I teach in School of Grit, Yeah. So
yeah, right on. Thanks, Javier, man. Really appreciate you. Thanks for carving out your time. And I believe our our special guest is here, if I'm not mistaken. So it is my honor to introduce Mark Devine. There he is. Hoo-yah, Mark.
Yeah, Brad. Good to see you, my
Great.
friend.
Great to see you, sir. Thank you for taking the time. Mark's a New York Times bestseller, leadership expert, entrepreneur, motivational speaker. I mean, the list goes on. The creator of Seal Fit, Unbeatable Mind, and he's got his own highly rated podcast as well. So thank you, sir. Appreciate the time here.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. It's good to see you.
Yeah, you too. So
you can take flight.
Taking flight. Yes, sir. So the book School of Grit drops today, as you know, which is a big reason why you're here. And for those who haven't read it yet or haven't gotten their hands on an advanced copy, Mark actually wrote the foreword. Mark wrote the foreword to the book, and Mark is one of my biggest mentors in my life. He is the creator of Kokoro Camp, which is the crucible, the school of grit, if you will, that I chose to change my life, really change my mindset. And it's just an honor to have you here, sir. And I thought I would ask you a pretty easy question, and that is, why did you create Kokoro Camp?
Yeah, that's a great question. It'll be fun for me to reflect upon this, Brad. So I started Seal Fit back in 2006, or around 6 or 7, after a year-long initiative to mentor, to stand up a nationwide mentoring program for Navy SEAL trainees, and that was on a government contract. The government contract went away when a company called Blackwater decided that they want it. That's a whole different story. And so as I was licking my wounds and thinking, what's next? I decided that I really wanted to bring my unique brand or ideas around how to train the ultimate warrior, bring it directly to the SEALs, who wanted to take the time, or SEAL trainees who wanted to take the time and spend their own money to do it, not just rely on the government. And those that took that initiative were making a good choice. Because ultimately 90% of those who attended my training in Kokoro Camp became Navy SEALs, whereas you are aware, 85 to 90% of people who just jump into it fail. So it really taught me that the training, in a way that is different than even what the Navy was doing or the special ops do, it has a tremendous effect on an individual's capacity to withhold or withstand the suffering that goes in one of the most rigorous, if not the most rigorous, training program in the world. And so that training was 30 days long, and we called it the SEAL Fit Academy. And it's unfortunate that I don't still run those, because you and your tribe would absolutely love that training. It was extraordinary. So 30 days. I had these warriors live with me on site at my training center, which you've seen down in Encinitas, California. We trained from 0 dark 30 until 10, 11 at night, and then sometimes around the clock. And I think the second or third time I ran these, the first time I ran it, toward the end, I was like, okay, what are we going to do, to really just hammer it home and seal in the 30 days of lessons. Now, across the 30 days, we were teaching them obviously hardcore physical fitness training, and we evolved the SEAL Fit operator workouts out of that training. We were teaching them, how to work as a team under load, under pressure. We're using tools such as Log PT and being in the cold ocean at night and doing team, tasks and drills. We were teaching them mental toughness skills. And so I was an early proponent of using breath control and concentration training and mindfulness. And box breathing came out of that period. We were teaching them emotional development, and that largely through the team situations, setting up scenarios where the individuals would break down and not be able to succeed with this typical skills that had led them to succeed in other areas of their life, which then evoked emotional responses. And then we taught them how to deal with those responses and how to keep them in control and be more aware of the situations that it causes them to arise. And so we were teaching those, and then also teamwork, how to really open yourself up to accept and give help as a teammate, things that are kind of important and not easy to develop on your own. And then I guess the sum total of all that was, how do you lead effectively under extreme pressure? So all of that became the curriculum. And it wasn't enough for me, from my perspective, because of my experience at SEAL training and also in Hell Week, to just do it, classroom, go out and do the training, back in the classroom, go out and do the training. And I wanted to leverage some of the experiences that the SEALs had with what we call the Crucible experience. Now, the SEALs Crucible experience, there's many of them, but the dominant one, the most famous one, is Hell Week, which is 7 days of nonstop training, 6 nights, no sleep. And that training had a profound effect on me because it taught me that I was capable of so much more. And it taught me that so much more was found in areas that are generally unexplored in the civilian world. Sleep deprivation, accepting and enduring through a level of challenge that is unreasonable, doing things that you have to do as a team because it's impossible to accomplish them alone. These types of things, which aren't normally found in our Western individualized, culture, that is risk adverse and wants everything to be easy and comfortable. And so I wanted to bring that training to them. And so the first 30-day period, I think I kept them up overnight. And that was great because, 30 days of training, they're already pretty locked in, and they just stay up overnight. And we trained into the afternoon, and then we secured them and had a big party, and they thought it was great. And then I think on the second one, I said, you know what, I'm going to do this for 36 hours. And so we did it for 36 hours. And then the third one, I expanded it to basically, 2 full days plus change. Now, around this time, I was starting to get some civilians who were like peeking over the fence, at our training, and be like, geez, that looks like a real ball buster, but I want to do it. People like you who are inspired. And so I started to get requests and say, hey, Mark, I'm not interested in the military. I mean, I am, but I'm not going to go into the military, but I'm really interested in this training. Could I come? And so I had to think about that. And when I thought about it, I said, there's no reason why these civilians can't come as long as they meet the standards and they don't slow down the training or interfere with it in any way. So that became the trial run for the first Kokoro back in 2007. And I said, you have to, if you can come to this camp, but you have to meet these standards. And I'm not going to water anything down. You're going to train side by side with the special ops candidates, and you're going to do exactly what they do. And ironically, that's exactly what the civilians like you wanted, So that's the origin story for Kokoro. Kokoro was launched. Originally, it wasn't called Kokoro. It was called the SEAL Fit Challenge Camp. But I noticed something happening, and what you guys were talking about right before I came on really was that thing, that kind of soft inner belly experience of Kokoro was not about the physical fitness or even the mental toughness. It was about the transformation that occurred. Individuals going through the training really had to meet a new version of themselves, and they had to dig deep and find that version or they wouldn't succeed. And so I was trying to find a way to describe what that essence was, the essence that you had to throw your heart and your mind into this through the actions and through your level of commitment and your ability to persevere against all odds and your ability to be a good teammate. And I stumbled across the Japanese martial concept of Kokoro, which means whole mind or merging your heart and your mind into your actions. And I said, oh, that's it. Mm-hmm. So I named it Kokoro Camp.
Awesome. That's a great story. I hadn't heard that before from the original Kokoro Camp. So thanks for sharing that, Mark. That's awesome. And thanks for letting those original civilians through, because had that not happened, I wouldn't be here, man. I wouldn't be here doing what I'm doing, talking to you right now. And that camp changed my life. It shattered, all the ceilings that I'd put on myself, and the lessons that are in the book. That's my new mission, is just to get this book out in front of as many people as I possibly can, because it's got the power and potential to change people's lives, without going through Kokoro camp, unless they want to. And if they want to, then, you know, hoo-yah, man, take on that challenge, right? But there's other ways you can do it, right? There's other schools of grit, we call them. Yeah.
There are like, you know, Kokoro is not for everybody.
Yeah.
And there's plenty of, and you could have a kind of a menu of things, of experiences that would give you over time, potentially the totality of what you would get in Kokoro. But there's one thing that's unique about Kokoro is that it's a whole person experience in that it addresses you physically, mentally, emotionally, intuitionally, and spiritually. And so if you were to go to let's say a crucible experience that was just kind of physical and had required some mental toughness to get through, that's great. Then you might find an experience that is more of emotional development. And you might be able to go to like a meditation or a silent retreat that hits up the spiritual. But each one of those is going to be valuable. But when you train them all together, that's when you hit the holy grail, because the human being is a whole integrated thing, you know, being, right? It's not. So when we train ourselves by separating and just looking at the parts and not also bringing them back together and training them in an integrated fashion, then we don't really access as much power and as much insight. So you leave a little bit on the table.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for a crucible outside of Kokoro, try to find one that addresses the whole person. That's my point.
All 5 domains. Yeah, absolutely. I have one question for you, and then, you know, up to you if you want to pepper me with questions or anything. I want to be cognizant of your time. I know you got a lot going on. You had a launch earlier right before this, so which is super cool. But I'm thinking back to the Unbeatable Mind experience, which for those of you who tuning in, Mark and crew do just a tremendous job out in California. A live experience. You can also do it virtually now, but the Unbeatable Mind experience is a couple days, and it is fantastic. But during that experience, do you remember when I met you in the hallway and I said, I think you're on your way to the bathroom, and I said, hey, Mark, it's Brad. I'd met you maybe once or twice before, but you meet a lot of people, so you just never know if like you really remember a certain individual or not. And I told you quickly, because I knew you're on the way to the bathroom, why I was there. And I had said that you had created a video. You've done a lot of videos, but this particular one was on YouTube, and I believe it's called Kokoro Coaches. And you're talking about Kokoro Camp, and you said, rejoice in adversity. Rejoice in adversity. How do we grow as human beings? It's through adversity. Warriors seek out the severest of schools in order to forge their character. You know, welcome to the severest of schools. And man, I still get like goosebumps saying that, and the hair comes up on my arm. And I told you that. And then I said, I graduated from Kokoro Camp. At the time, I was writing a book. You know, I was on like my you know how it is writing books. You've written several, but I was on like my 2nd or 3rd draft. I knew I still probably had a little bit of time. I didn't even have to ask. You looked me dead in my eyes, and you said, hey, I'll write your forward. I'll write your forward. So my question is, why did you agree to write my forward or just offer that up without me asking? Because I just think that was so cool to have one of your biggest mentors in your life just offer that up.
You know, I can't answer that cognitively. It was more of a spontaneous response because you were authentic, and I knew that the book would be authentic. And what I mean by that is like you approach this as with respect for the training and the mentorship that you receive from me. So many people approach training from others who spend a lifetime developing that training, and they suck up some tidbits and then they spin it around as if it's their own. And that's happened, you know, to me many times, and it's okay, right? It's going to happen in this day and age where individuals think that they can master something just by downloading an internet course. And so I recognize that happens, but you took the hard path, right? You went to Kokoro Camp. You spent years developing yourself and refining and honing. And there are many mentors along the way. And I imagine you've given them all credit. And the fact that you remembered that that spontaneous kind of opening I gave to another Kokoro camp, and that you appreciated the kind of the message there, right? That inspiring message that you either get it or you don't. If you don't get it, you'll never experience the life the way you and I experience it. But if you get it and you embrace it, and then you embrace the suck of hard training to evolve yourself and to live the richest life possible, then, my level of respect for you goes through the roof. And so there was no questioning in my mind. I just thought, the right person to write the foreword to this book is me. And so I wanted to offer that to you.
Well, thank you very much, sir. I really appreciate it. And it is authentic. I loved it. It fired me up. Still fires me up every time I read it. So thank you, sir. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no, it's been great to see you. Thanks for inviting me on to support your initiative. It's important work. We're all in this together to make the world a better place. We're in some dangerous and challenging times. There's rapid change, transformation. This is the training that I was just launching. We're in the exponential age. Exponential change happens both through technology, through black swan events, through unicorn disruptions, but also through war.
Mm-hmm.
And we can't sit back and just expect that the world's leaders, who are not doing the type of work that we're doing, are going to have the wisdom and the insight and the cojones to make the changes that we need to see. So my belief is that, you and I and thousands of others, thought leaders, we need to inspire, individuals to evolve themselves at scale so that at scale, hundreds of millions of us can vote with our feet, with our pocketbooks, with our thoughts, positive thoughts, and, demanding essentially that the world move in a more positive and inclusive and less violent direction. It's not going to happen by relying on the industrial age institutions and,
Mm-hmm.
and so the work you're doing and others like you and I it's really important. So I appreciate you for doing that.
No problem, Mark. And there's no substitute for hard work. You just got to do the daily work, make those daily deposits in yourself each and every day.
Through that. Yeah.
Hoo-yah.
Hoo-yah. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Mark. Have a great day. All right. That's it. That's it from School of Grit, the live stream. I've been going an hour and 22 minutes. Awesome. I want to say thank you to my special guests. Thank you, Javier, for helping me kick it off. Thank you to my School of Grit tribe for joining all those guys on. And yes, we're looking for women to join too. So if you're up for the challenge, contact me, contact Javier. We'll get you some more information. I want to say thank you to my family. You guys can come back on here if you want. So help me close it out. That's fine. Yeah, they're still here. They're listening. I want to say thanks to my family. You guys are awesome. You're amazing. You're a big reason I'm doing what I'm doing. Thanks to Coach Richard. Thanks to Mel. Thanks for all of you for tuning in, whether you watch this live or you're watching the recording, the comments. And last but not least, go pick up some copies if you haven't already. It's on Amazon. Go to SchoolofGrit.org. Make sure you go there, hit book, because you can put how many copies you bought. Make sure you get those free supplements, right? I didn't create them just for me. They're for you. And if you buy 5 or more, you're going to get free access to that live masterclass a week from today, where we will be teaching you. You've heard about it, right? Unbeatable Mind, how to be mentally tough. I'm going to teach you the 4 secrets to be more mentally tough. And then we're going to practice those. So you're going to want to wear some comfortable clothes and probably have some water nearby. All right. That's it for me at School of Grit. I want to say thank you once again for tuning in. And remember, do hard things.